Bant Angel Company. If you didn't see this last time, it was really sweet and had some really explosive turns. The key card in our deck here is this Righteous Valkyrie. It says whenever another angel or cleric enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. As long as you have 7 or more life more than your starting total, so in Historic that's 27, your creatures get +2/+2. And then this card, in conjunction with Glasspool Mimic, gives us lots of copies of this effect to make our board very large. It's not uncommon to have 2 or 3 copies of this effect in play, giving all of our creatures +4/+4, even +6/+6, especially when we have Collected Company to find them consistently. Bishop of the Wings and Soul Warden give us additional ways to gain lots of life, and Resplendent Angel gives us an additional means to have a payoff when we're gaining life. Linvala is really fantastic as protecting our key threats against spot removal as well as sweepers, and Skyclave Apparition gives us just a scotch of interaction in the main deck to deal with things like Grafdigger's Cage as well as opposing threats that are attacking. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see if it feels good again today or not. Umari the Collector on the other side here. Runeterra spoilers usually go up at 11 a.m. Central, which is an hour and 15 minutes from now. Usually they'll do spoilers every single day. Every single weekday. I forget if they do weekends. I think it's just weekdays. I'm gonna bottom the Linvala here. The Glasspool. I'm bottom the Glasspool. For bottoming the land. Yeah, I think the audio did get louder. Looks like that bug's still there, believe it or not. We should play Vanaphir combo again at some point. I forgot about that deck. That deck was baller. Speaking of Vanaphir, I think chat's right. There's a good chance that that's what they're playing, so I want to hold this Skyclave for that. The deck's probably a lot better with pathways and fast lands too. I agree, Chewy, that if you want a mirror breaker for this deck, you should be playing a Johnny. I don't think this archetype's currently anywhere near popular enough to justify playing a mirror breaker, but if that changes, that is the best card to do it with, for sure. I think I'm gonna give my thing hexproof here just because, like, I have another one in hand. Ooh, we'll shoot. Welcome to Thunderdome, chat. Guess we'll take that one. It's fine. When we play an angel next turn, Speaker of the Heavens gets to start triggering, and then the game will end very quickly. Yeah, the game is ended at this point. We're solidly into garbage time. You got a photo show it. Morning, Big Mama. thankfully making 4/4s every turn closes things out pretty quick. So they're dead this turn then. You're playing the Runeterra last chance call. You know, I'm gonna be honest, I forgot that was happening today. Maybe. It's best of... Is it best of 1 or best of 3? It's best of 1? Yeah, maybe we'll do that today. It'll be quick either way. I haven't played a ton this patch though. How does Vannifear combo kill? I don't believe it can. Sultai Vannifear can combo kill with Grey Merchant. Captain Meowsome, thanks for the follow. Good morning. I kind of think I'm just clicking submit, huh? I don't feel like I don't have any extra interaction out of my sideboard. And it feels like my linear game plan is pretty good here. Is the Frel Overwhelm deck good in the current Runeterra format? I think I heard someone say that was true. I like playing that deck. I could train stomp through a gauntlet real quick with that one. The more Nox version is. Yeah, I think the other version's fine too. Alright, if we draw a green source, this hand is great. Do you have a link to Swim's Allegiance version, Nightwings? I'm interested to see what his build looks like. So, unfortunately, they have Kira here, so we can't interact with their thing. They get to keep this in play. Nah, I think that one is much worse, Pomoyne. Having a permanent answer to Grafdigger's Cage is really important. I'm not a huge fan of the Pirate aggro deck. Pirate, and discard just don't really speak to me. I like the Frel Alliance deck. Zero Daddy Pharaon is a choice. Oh, Renegade Railier's legal now. I forgot Renegade Railier was legal. That makes your corridor monitors way better. I assume we're getting combo killed here. I really wish I didn't have to keep clicking OK, though. Or they're just putting a bunch of Renegade Railiers into play. They could also just be putting a bunch of Renegade Railiers into play. Yeah, do they end on giving them haste? They can have a red card that gives haste, right? Hey, Coons, thanks for 30 months. Welcome back. Bazan de Hicks, thanks for the follow. Okay, so my opponent has assembled infinite mana. So they have infinite mana, and they have infinite Prime Speaker activations. I really wish Arena had a... Is it left shift plus enter is auto pass? Basalt Ravager. Okay, so now they technically have infinite mana and they have infinite blinks. So they blink Basalt Ravager an arbitrary number of times, dealing damage to us each time with it. That's adorable. This is honestly probably better than the Grey Merchant kill. In large part, it should be better than the Grey Merchant kill because you can play things like Good Boy to protect your Vanasphere from removal. There's a lot of good white utility creatures you want access to. Maybe Meddling Mage for Vanasphere is fine. Hey, that's probably true. They probably can't win without Vanasphere in play. Hey, Kelvin, I looked for your name in the subs Discord and you weren't there, by the way. Do you want to send me a DM or something? You said you wanted to coordinate when you wanted me to play your standard deck. So I didn't put it in the schedule for today because I hadn't talked to you. I didn't see an email or a DM. I feel like I would be surprised if playing the Collector as a companion is correct. I feel like the number of games that this card is going to win you by playing has to be few and far between, and there's got to be useful non-creatures worth playing. Is Linvala Keeper of Silence historic legal? Was that a jumpstart card? Was Keeper of Silence a jumpstart card? It was? Okay. And to answer your question, no, I don't think that's probably worth playing. Like maybe if the opponent's deck was yeah, I feel like you'd rather just like play Neoform. Like I'd rather play Neoform or something that like helps you search for creatures consistently, rather than like playing this and restricting yourself. Yeah, I think the telegraphing information's pretty whatever. I think that's mostly irrelevant. Yeah, you could like turn 3 people in this format with Neoform combo. No, of course, Winota's banned, so of course that's legal. Are we dead from here? I assume we die from this board state, right? Maybe depending on what else is in their hand. We can't afford to play too many 3-drops. You literally are playing Skyclave and Deputy of Detention. And Renegade Rallier. You have like 12 3-drops at a glance, if not more. I guess maybe you're not playing full 4s of all of these. But like you have like there's a bunch of 3s. You can always see our deck list by typing !deck in chat or by looking at the overlay widget. And then yeah, so this gets this, and then this blinks this, and they go from there. They have... Oh, this is a warrior. That's funny. So now they pot into the red mana idiot. They pot into Zedra, which makes their blink cheaper. Hey, thanks for the entire year, Phantom. Welcome back. Okay, now this gets the mana one. So this gives them 3 mana because Vannifear is a wizard, and this is a wizard, warrior. Oh, this is a rogue. Oh, they have Glasspool Mimic. Okay, that's funny. Okay, and now they turn one of the Renegade Railiers into the 4-drop that kills us, right? No, this is turn 5. But they could do this as early as turn 4, yeah. Okay, yeah, and then now they pod Railier into a thing and we're dead. Got it. We'll have to do that at some point. I can't imagine it, like, ever beats Thoughtseize or Claim the Firstborn, but, like, against other people that are trying to linear you like our deck, it seems pretty reasonable. That was how the Soul type Vannifear deck that we played a good bit of last time was like could never beat Cage, could never beat Ruby, but like you like braced other people just fine. I mean, like it has for like Skyclave Apparition probably goes a long way. Are you playing 4 Skyclaves, Kelvin? If you're not playing 4 Skyclaves, it seems like a pretty big mistake. Does the 4-drop that prevents sacrifice is that card symmetrical? Yeah, I'm confused why you have Deputy of Detention in the deck if you're not on 4 Skyclaves. I feel like the 4th Skyclave has to be better than the 1st Deputy. Yeah, Yasharn is symmetrical for some reason. Yeah. It's like of all the effects that like they've printed that are one-sided recently, that one has to be symmetrical, as said. Jakes, thanks for the follow. Oh, because it's white and white can't have good cards. That's a good point. Main deck Duress. Okay, so we're playing against like Waste Not or something silly. There's a card that they blink that deals damage when it comes into play, Leroy. Yeah, no problem, Ranger. I should have done that. Done that at the start of the stream. Quench, rude. Oh, they're just playing rogues and have duress in their main deck for some reason. That seems real bad. Yeah, we knew that community tournaments were coming already, Precipic. They said that in the original announcement. No, there hasn't been any mono blue tempo in the format that we've played against recently. It's been all rogues all the way down. Definitely want a couple of baffling ends here. Probably just want to trim some of my threes, I imagine. Maybe trim Speaker. I've been trimming Speaker against other decks that pressure our life total. Let's do that, actually, and bring in the extra Linvala. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'm glad that the Runeterra is changing. I'm glad that Runeterra is giving best of 3 a more permanent game mode in their client. I think card games tend to be better as best of 3 games. That being said, I'm not a huge fan of them changing their seasonal tournaments to 9-round tournaments. We did the math in the subs Discord, and the change that they made to making the seasonal tournaments 9 rounds with 8-1 advancing as opposed to 5 rounds with 5-0 advancing is only better for people that have a 64% win rate or higher. So like, for a majority of people, the change is actually worse, and it makes the tournament 80% longer for everyone, which feels rough. Like, the difference between going 5-0 and going 8-1 is like super, super small, unless your win rate is absurd. I don't know. I imagine, I think at the end of the day, it's like not too big of a deal though, because like, I'm sure like their current iteration of seasonal tournaments, like this new one is far from their final form, and they're going to try a few different things to try and find that sweet spot. Yeah, I also am not a fan of, like, introducing tiebreakers feels bad too. Like being the 7-2 right on the outside looking in is like rough beats. But something's gotta give. 80%. Yeah, 5 rounds versus 9's an 80% increase in tournament time. If they tap off a blue mana here, I get to slam Collected Company on my turn, which would be great. So, with this draw, I think we actually go this... Oh, wait. This gains me life equal to its toughness, right? Oh, wait. This is a cleric too. So this would gain me 1, and this would gain me 4, which means I trigger this. It's 5. Okay, yeah. Now we just Warden Angel and then make another Angel. And this puts me to 27, 28 actually, so everything pumps up here. Pump up the jam. Pump up the bump up the wump up the jam. Do 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 do. You know, they played Quench game 1. I was supposed to play my 3-drop here. I'm supposed to play around Quench for sure. I deserve that. It would be nice if our opponent was paying attention to the game, though. It didn't take 8 minutes to play their Quench, but definitely deserve that. Alright, this game's done. Played into a Quench I didn't need to play into, but we got him. I cannot believe that they left Duress in post-board against my Collected Company deck. That is wild. Morning, Neptune. Like, I don't strictly hate Duress game as like a game 1 card. I don't think it's terrible in general, but you should definitely be boarding it out against the decks that have enough hits for Collecting Company. That is definitely something that should happen. That's true. It could technically tag a Collecting Company. Or it could... So they've cast 2 Duresses in this match so far, and both times they've seen just creatures, so like... Which is definitely the average case scenario. I've made an executive decision that after we're done playing this deck for a little bit more, we're gonna play some we're gonna build Banafear combo on stream. Because that looked like it was sweet. Zenith Live, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. I would like to pod mom some people. Man, this deck would kill for Razor Verge, Thickets, and Seachrome Coast. I think I'm keeping this, but I'm like not happy about it. Especially against the tempo deck, having a bunch of tap lands really sucks. Alright, so they have Fatal Push. What's the other half of the fast lane from? Scars of Mirrodin? I was really hoping they would have done the thing in their most recent set where they would have printed cards from the old set. Yeah, the other half of the fast lands aren't even legal in Pioneer. I really hope they put them in the next historic anthology. Really like some complete sets of lands. Having different, better mana would be another good way to differentiate Pioneer or historic from Pioneer as well. Maybe we'll get them in Strixhaven. I'd be very surprised if they were in Strixhaven. They could be in a core set. They're definitely core set possible. I think I'm into this trade. There's a good chance we can't block this next turn anyways because of its triggers, so I'm gonna attack for 1. I like this deck because it has a unique angle of attack. I expect they have a Flash Rogue to power this up. They just draw Fatal Push. Just your Fatal Push, sure. Well, lands are good draw next turn with Resplendent Angel, because she has a 6-mana activation. Easy block with the Youthful Valkyrie. When you're hoping for a land and draw a spell, I don't know, it's a pretty good spot to be in, right? Lands are good and spells are good. Like, I don't know. The Rogues, like I said, the Rogues deck is a pretty polarizing deck. Like, decks like ours that are reasonably aggressive, like, tend to smoke it, and, like, it beats up on everything mid-rangey and controlling. We do this and hope to draw land. Tribal, got it. Yeah, part of the reason why they split up lands is to sell packs over the course of a couple of sets, but like that's not a reason why they don't complete them. You know what I mean? These trigger each other. That's kind of funny. This is where the magic happens, chat. This is where the magic happens. Like the pathway split, I think is pretty whatever. I can forgive that. Like the fast lands being as spread out as they are really sucks though. Like that's different. I think we're dead. And hit a land drop on time. Not great at mana bases. Can you explain why we have 0 breeding pools? Because of all of my white spells. Because none of my cards that take all of my cards that take non-white mana cost 3 and 4 mana. So you basically never want to play. You don't want any of your first few lands to not make white mana. Kirito, thanks for the follow. Good morning. That's good enough. Do you have any other tips for building mana bases? Now, there aren't really, like, get-rich-quick tips for building mana bases. Having a good fundamental understanding of statistics and a hypergeometric distribution is important. Yeah, it definitely feels like hand sucks keep territory. Maybe the fact that we're missing blue mana is a reason to mulligan it. I can see that being the case. Well now it's nuts, chat. Now it's nuts. Full effect, we're not playing blue for Linvala. We're playing blue for the clone effect, and because we're playing blue for the clone effect, we happen to play Linvala. If you think we're playing blue for Linvala, you don't understand what's actually good in this deck. We're playing cards that allow us to have more copies of our payoffs to have powerful draws more consistently. Yeah, that's the other thing too. The other thing too is that this deck having the clone gives us a good spell land. Like, we're not losing these games because of our splash colors. We're losing games where we just don't have lands to begin with. So, like, you're not really solving the problem that you're talking about. Linvala has been thoroughly impressive. I think Linvala is fine, but she's not the reason to be in that color. She's not the reason to be into blue. Realm Walker is scary. Gotta get rid of that one for sure. Them play elves off the top of their deck. There's a good chance we lose this game because our opponent drew Collected Company and we did not. Far as non-land, non-collected company draws go here, Baffling End is definitely towards the top. their deck's been real good. Yeah, they get to use this to search up another clan caller next turn, is the problem here. Untapped land tier is actually really good for us, right? I don't know that it's enough to survive. I think we're still dead. Right, I'm at 11. Let's give them trample. It does not. They really need to fix the audio bugs in this game. It's really obnoxious. It's really jarring how the audio is like randomly super loud in spots. Yeah, this main deck is card for card the same list we played last time. I don't think we drew this card very often last time we played this deck, but there were 4 of them. So Escape definitely has a sound with Still Blue Fire. Maybe your client's just bugged and you don't hear it sometimes. So the thunks on the hits are louder, JMOs, but the things powering up in play gets louder too as well, which is definitely a bug. So I think it's good to have the bonk be a little bit louder. Like that's a feature and that's good, but that's different than what I'm talking about. Like the everything being super loud when like something comes into play and like all of your units get bigger. Like it's there's a difference between having something intentionally be louder than some other effects and having it be loud to the point where I need to reach to turn my headphones down. Like, those two things are fundamentally very different. I would be surprised if this matchup is winnable. I have to imagine Claim the Firstborn just chews us up and spits us out. Last time, the Angel deck looked more explosive. Yeah, so what you're talking about there is a small sample size in which your little lizard brain was unable to distinguish from the fact that we were high rolling. And our opponents weren't interacting with us consistently. We were hitting land drops. I think not only last time did we high roll a little bit, but we're definitely low rolling a little bit in these games here. We've had a lot of games in this set where we've like failed to play 3rd and 4th lands a couple of times. Like we're playing a 26 land deck and we've missed our 3rd and 4th land drop, I think, in half or more of the games we've played in this set. Also, for the record, people aren't familiar with that phraseology. Lizard brain isn't an insult to the person I'm saying to it as. Lizard brain is a descriptive statistical phenomenon that refers to the fact that people have a hard time dissecting or removing or stepping back from sample sizes that they're looking at. It's that instinctual basal level response. It's the shuffler is rigged type knee-jerk reaction response you hear from people that's not based in facts or reality, but it's based on impulse and instinct, as opposed to like taking a deep breath and thinking like a person who's evolved and like can use their brain. Like it's like that. It's kind of like that fight or flight type. It's like a reflex instinct type thing. Humans in general are very bad at understanding probability and statistics intuitively. I mean, it's not even just a Magic player thing, it's just a human thing. Yeah, Fatal push my Valkyrie here, I assume. Or Village Racing, sure. I figured out how we beat Claim the Firstborn, chat. Our opponent stumbles and dies. It's a strong play, but I think it's gonna work out for us. Nicholas, thanks for the follow. Good morning. This is a Yasharn matchup. This is probably a Tamiyo Vivien matchup too for grinding, huh? It says 28 company hits. That's probably fine. $29 company hits. 29, I've got one Yasharn. Usually like to stay like 30 plus, but you know. Yeah, the Rakdos Pyromancer deck is very good, JMOs. There just aren't a lot of competitive historic tournaments, so like the important thing to understand about like laddering and stuff like that is a lot of people that are playing ladder matches on Magic Arena are just playing ladder matches for fun. This is gonna shock a lot of Magic players, but people play games for fun. So like what's doing well or like things you see on the ladder aren't really representative of what's going to do well in tournaments. The Roller Dude, thank you for the entire year of support. Welcome back. Oh yeah, Thoughtseize me again, Daddy. You know what I like. I mean, it's not even about the rank, chat. Like even at Mythic, there's still a lot of people that are largely just playing games for fun. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. You should play games for fun. I assume they're going to take Skyclave here, so I can't get rid of their Arcanist next turn with land draw. It's taking my only castable spell feels short-sighted. Maybe their hand's really bad and they just have to hope to get lucky. Feel like they were definitely supposed to take this. I would actually bet that there's a good, and this is not based on any data that I have because we don't have ladder data, but I would actually wager that Platinum and Diamond are probably the most competitive parts of the arena ladder, because being top 1200 is largely meaningless to a lot of people. So there isn't really an incentive to try once you're in Mythic for a majority of people. You know what? Ain't even mad that this was all I got. This was what I wanted to hit. This is what we wanted for Christmas, chat. We wanted to take away their ability to flash these back, okay? It's not even a woof. That's a thank you, Collected Company. I will take a 4-mana Skyclave Apparition. In for 4-mana Skyclave Apparition. All about it. Alright, we figured out how we beat Claim the Firstborn. Our opponent just mulligans or they stumble and die. Easy game. Easy game. Very? I think I'm just playing this tap, so if we draw a Coco next turn, we can cast it. Got a Clarion for me. Champion of Wits. Okay, are we playing like God Pharaoh's Gift? We're just like playing this for value in a mid-range control deck. Probably God Pharaoh's Gift with that card in their deck, I have to imagine. Crunch. You have assembled 2-card 4-mana Flame Tongue Kavu. Got me. My creature hath died. I've been refurbished. I mean, that land drop's like not even that terrible because it technically activates Resplendent Angel next turn. Makes them dead on board. Kind of makes them dead to a land, so they know they're likely dead if they don't have anything. Read. Okay, so they want to attack for at least 3 here. Exiling this is nice. I had 6 mana to activate. That's why I didn't shock that land in. If it was 5, I would have used it last turn. Yeah, like I said, someone earlier commented that it was weird to play blue for Linvala. This is actually the reason you want to play blue in this deck. Glasspool Mimic is, like, really good. Having more copies of all of our best cards and having a spell land that we can get with Collecting Company is great. Does Lux Zoe qualify as control? Definitely. Control decks in Runeterra aren't like control decks in Magic, where they frequently take forever to kill people. Generally speaking, they can close games out. So, Knight of Autumn sounds great. They probably have sweepers post-board, I imagine, so Linvala seems potentially reasonable. Skyclave actually seems pretty bad, huh? I guess this tags if they're playing Gate to the Afterlife, but they're also on Refurbish. There's a chance that they're not on Gate to the Afterlife. Remorseful Cleric's probably fine. I don't know if this is a Disdainful Stroke matchup. My gut says no. Yeah, I definitely think that's true in general. James, you lose more games to Screw than Flood. It was a trick, BSQ. For sure. Yeah, like this curve is great, right? If we hit an untapped blue stars, we get to go like this into this into this into this. No, it's not about feelings at all, Knacker. The difference being when you flood, you still have choices that you get to make because you actually get to play a game, whereas when you don't have lands, you literally don't get to make any decisions at all. So there's more agency when you flood than when you screw. It's just objectively the case. I'm not going to talk about the feelings behind it, because the feelings are subjective. I'm just pointing out the reality that when you play, when you are flooded, you still get to make choices, whereas when you are screwed, you do not. The old 7 power worth of flyers on turn 3. Yeah, that's not bad. 3 mana, 7 power worth of flyers. Yeah, Bishop of the Wings looking real good here. Half got me here. I believe so, Time Lord. We haven't seen Gift out of them yet, but they're like playing Refurbish and other cards that would imply that that's what they're doing. Be kind of surprised if God Pharaoh's Gift is fast enough to be competitive in this format. How's the set gone so far? It's been all right. If you had a bit worse luck than the last time we played it, but we still had some decent games. Had a lot of, like, missed land drops, number 3 and 4 in our 26 land deck, which is just gonna happen sometimes. Mick, thanks for the 22 months. Welcome back. Do-do. Do 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 do. I feel like I'm going to repeat this a lot today. Our deck is not playing blue for Linvala. Our deck is playing blue for a 3-mana clone that's also a land that we can hit off of Collected Company. I don't think adding Veto to this deck solves any problems that we have. Don't ask yourself the question if we can do something. Ask yourself the question if we should do something. There's lots of cards you can put into decks. The question is, does the card you're trying to add solve a problem that you have? Is it worth adding? You can put whatever you want into the deck. That's not a good way to narrow down if you should, though. It doesn't really end the turn earlier on a good Coco hit. It doesn't really end the game any earlier than hitting an additional clone effect does. I don't know, it feels like when I hear card suggestions like that, I feel like they're coming from people who haven't really played enough games with the deck. It's definitely my opinion. It feels like you haven't, like, you don't understand which cards are important and why. Vendilion, click. Thanks for the follow. Really hope we get that card into Historic at some point. I would love for that to be in the next Historic anthology.
ready for you quite yet. This is hardly my worst.
Yeah, that's a good thought. I think you're right, Silverberg. That because I had this, I should have let Linvala go under this. There's a good chance I win. There's a good chance I win this game if I win this game if I would have put Linvala under here and then gotten it back out again. And then this is probably a Sot coming, and then we're dead. Yeah, I think the comment about the Linvala play was correct with the cast out. I think if I would have let Linvala go under cast out, we probably win this game. Because I would have been able to play the Skyclave and like have a Linvala in play, and then we would have stopped this the second sweeper with the Linvala. We would have attacked for lethal. It's a really, really good catch. I wasn't thinking about that with the Skyclave in my hand. Is it Doomscar? Are you playing Doomscar and Wrath? Oh shit! This has vigilance. Obviously should have attacked there. I would have killed this or hit them to one.
I'll show restraint. Keep up the pace.
I assume we're dead from here. Well, shit. Yeah, we're not gonna keep up with Defree and Shark. No, Prime sponsor is a real thing, Matthew Dauber. So Prime Gaming is the promo name for things that the free stuff that you get as a part of the linking your Prime account to various gaming things. And right now you can get free wild cards in Legends of Runeterra with Prime Gaming. We're gonna be wrapping up on Runeterra today, and that segment is sponsored by Prime Gaming to promote the free wildcard stuff. Probably want a couple of strokes here, huh? Is Knight a consideration because of their enchantment removal? I don't hate that. I'm not a huge fan of these Youthful Valkyries. So let's do that. Meddling Mage to name Wrath of God. Maybe, I don't know, Grizzly. I'm not a huge fan of playing Grizzly Bear. I think our 1-drops are pretty important. Think I can bottom a land in good conscience on the play. If I had a blue source, I'd probably keep the Tamiyo there, but haven't seen the MM come in. What does MM mean? What's that an acronym for? Meddling Mage. Oh, they're there for Ugin. We put Disdainful Stroke and Meddling Mage in the sideboard for the Ugin matchups. Our deck's super soft to that card. If this gets counterspelled, Vivien Reid's more likely to resolve. I like a seal away here. 1/1 shark, deal. Wrath of God? If they Wrath of God, we get 2 1/1s, then I get to untap and play Vivien, so it doesn't seem like the Stone Cold Bratwurst.
The wilds are my shield.
Can you go over why you played the blue creature land as a land there over the pathway? Rather than getting... I don't... It just filled out my curve nicely. Like, do you see how I like used my mana every single turn this game? I've like used almost all of my mana. It's gotta be this one, right? It might be wrong to play this out. It might be wrong to play this because they kind of have to sweep already anyways. Might be right to hold this for post Wrath of God here. Post Doomscar or whatever. This is playing it out's better against spot removal though. Means they're dead on board through like a cast out or something, or a Teferi down tick. So yeah, it's probably right to play it out. We've got Vivien heading up. 5 mana Vivien looking super impressive here, by the way, doing exactly what we wanted to do and coming into this control matchup and generating additional card advantage out of the sideboard. It's very possible if you want to hedge this deck against mid-range and control decks that you want a 3rd Planeswalker card advantage. So Vivien, Tamiyo, 4 mana, Johnny, all of these types of effects let you draw extra cards, which is great.
Meet my newest friend.
It's a real shame this doesn't protect permanence. For people that haven't seen her in a while, her emblem is 2/2 Vigilance, Trample, Indestructible. It's unfortunate.
Every defeat is a new beginning.
By just making another 4/4 here, I think I'm just playing a 4/3, right? Like, the Elspeth Conquers Death doesn't have anything meaningful in here right now, and I've got this to give Indestructible. So if they like Wrath or Doomscar, they die. Yeah, this deck would love Tireless Tracker. Tireless Tracker is probably better than these other cards that we're playing by a lot. The perfect kind of card advantage card for these collecting company decks. We played Green Black Rock in Pioneer on stream yesterday to start the day, and I was reminded how much I love Tireless Tracker. Card is lovely. That was our first time we've cast Tamiyo or Vivien, and Vivien definitely just won us that game. She did exactly what we wanted to do, which is generate card advantage against the control deck. Yeah, seems great, right? This hand triggers Resplendent Angel on 3, because we get to attack for 1 and then we gain 4. The champions go to level 3. That's interesting. We tried to play a red-black fair deck to start this morning, and we just got slaughtered constantly, and it was not close. So not super optimistic for the idea of a fair deck playing out in this format well. Unfortunately, this is sorcery only, so I can't activate this yet. If they sweep the board, we get 2 1/1s from Bishop of Wings, and then I untap and play Righteous Valkyrie and attack them for 6. So we need to dodge second sweeper here. If they don't have second sweeper, we're in a pretty good spot. I guess even spot removal for Valkyrie leaves this kind of medium. Welcome to the Thunderdome. Maybe I should hold on to that. I don't have double green for Vivien anyways. The 5th lane doesn't do much.
So you know what?
Think we're in garbage time here at this point. Yeah, without something like a Vivien or a Tamiyo going. Voice of Resurgence. That's a card I'd love to play with. That's a card that's really good in decks like this against shitty things like this. Although, actually, you know what? I take that back. I lied. Getting my Voice of Resurgence, claim the firstborn, and then them sacrificing it, getting the token sounds vomit-inducing, and I never want that. Never want to experience that. So I'd actually prefer to never play with Voice of Resurgence in this format as long as claim is legal. But I'd prefer they don't put it in the next anthology, because I'll be tempted to play it, and then I will be vomiting constantly when that happens. Just like, we'll have to keep a puke bucket next to my desk. You're right though, Voice of Resurgence is what I love doing. A lot of the types of decks that I like to play get hosed by Claim the Firstborn. It feels real bad. Maybe we'll have to make a point to play a Voice of Resurgence deck in Pioneer. Sure, we could build one of those up. We could play Winota with Voice of Resurgence in Pioneer, probably. That's probably great. Bet that slaps. They should really look into fixing the Thoughtseize bug, chat. It's pretty offensive. I am a skilled magician. Sorry, Thoughtseize feature. I don't want anybody to think that Arena has bugs in it. It's definitely a feature. Okay, chat. Pop quiz. What does this attack mean? For everybody at home, what does this attack mean? It's Fatal Push. Don't block. Take your one. Yeah. If the attack looks revolting, that's probably because it is. You know, I saw a Twitter post. I saw a Twitter post the other day, and I had never resonated with something more magic related in my life. And the Twitter post said, the best part about them banning Simian Spirit Guide in Modern is you no longer have to listen to idiots say, well, what if they had Simian Spirit Guide, Manamorphose spells as an out? It's just like, get the fuck out of here. It's actually the biggest upside of that banning is not having to deal with that. Yeah, everybody knows anybody that's played Magic in Modern a long time knows a person that's like that. The old what ifs this. It's like, well, stop it. Crunch. Thank you for the 35 months, Shadow Rail. That's a long time. I appreciate it. Welcome back. So, I've usually been boarding Speaker of the Heavens out against aggressive decks. I like trimming Youthful Valkyrie here too. Bring in our card advantage here because they're a little bit go long. I like to bring in Linvala against the other interactive decks. The rest of that seems fine. Yeah, I agree. I'm glad we kept playing. We had some bad beats with this deck at the start of the set. This deck's really pretty consistent overall. Good afternoon, Fizzy Dragon. So, this hand's pretty mediocre, but my opponent's playing Thoughtseize, so you don't mulligan. Don't mulligan against people playing Thoughtseize, chat. You play Kira if it was an angel. I feel like Kira is probably worse than Linvala. We also don't have enough blue sources to play a blue spell consistently. The fact that it would be super difficult to actually cast is a big deal. Yeah, push Soul Warden off a cliff here. Yeah, double blue's a tough sell. This deck is mostly rares, right? Talking about wildcard references. So there's some pretty key fundamental differences between Pioneer and Historic. Things like Muxus not existing in Historic is a big, in Pioneer is a big deal. What are the mythics in this deck? It's like just Resplendent Angel, right? No, Resplendent Angel's definitely mythic.
And you smell well aged. I have sired many warriors.
That is unfortunate. Okay, well, I mean, glass half full, we drew the land to cast this. Yeah, pretty much all of the cards in this deck are like this is probably the closest thing to a mediocre card, but I expect this card's gonna be standard playable at some point before it rotates. This card's standard legal for like another year and a half. So, I think I give Hexproof to counter their Murderous Rider. It's close, though. Indestructible means they lose 2. We unfortunately bottomed a Vivien on our collected company earlier, so we don't have that to draw. Coco's and Tamiyos definitely our best pickups from here. Classic audio half broken. It's not that the sound is delayed, it's that it's completely bug silence. It's an arena bug. Runeterra keyworded gem speed. That's great. That'll be a big improvement. Man, these really aren't good, huh? Woof. And our Tamiyo's getting bottomed out too. Think we hexproof again. So you're dead. Audio's just like completely wonked. Lala Leva, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. All in all, I like this deck a lot. I think I'm pretty happy with where I wanted it. Getting to see, I'm really glad. I know we lost the match against Blue-White overall because of how our draw worked out in game 3, but the second game in that match where we got to plug Vivien down and she just like pulled us through their sweeper was like super impressive. The card did basically exactly what I was looking for it to do. I could see a second copy of either of these being in here. We mentioned Tireless Tracker during the set. As soon as that card gets added to this client, I think that's definitely what you want because it's a card advantage piece that you can collected company into, which is aces. But for the time being, I think these Planeswalkers are great. Tamiyo has the upside of being able to downtick and redraw Collected Guppy out of the graveyard, which is pretty sweet though. So I think I like this split. I feel like I'd be inclined to do one more Vivien if I was going to add another copy, but Tamiyo's a little bit easier to cast too. We only have 12 green sources, which is saying something. All right, what are we doing? I'm gonna restart Arena to start, and then we are gonna build Vayne of Fear combo.